I think the camera will follow Scarlet Sentinel as she goes to her meeting in the tech lab.
Computer stuff. Woo!
Yeah, you're so excited. You wanted to work here since you got here, since before you got here.
I didn't want to be a super. I wanted to be behind the scenes.
But no, someone stole your application out of that stack and put it in the...
Yeah.
You don't know that.
I had to be, actually good at what I do. Jeez.
Oops. Uh-oh. Whoops.
Yeah, that awkward moment when you're also really good at superheroing stuff. Yeah, you don't know that... You don't know how close you got. But yeah, so you head down, you follow the directions, and it's kind of like a single person, office cubicle, but cooler than what you just pictured when I said that.
It's like a cubicle, but not boring and sad.
A cubicle, but it's cool. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's got a standing desk. It's got one of those little
character.
doohickeys.
It is a small, high-tech meeting space. So you're there for a bit before someone comes in.
So don't think cubicle. Think spaceship pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you think, it's cooler. We promise.
Yes.
I was thinking there'd be screens on all the walls, massively huge storage computers underneath all the screens, and it's pretty warm, but it's kind of awesome. Everything just kind of hums.
Ooh, very
You
Star
were
Trek.
instructed that this is the waiting space because the person you're supposed to be meeting with did get a little caught up in something. So, you're just waiting for a couple of minutes, just checking out all the cool tech. And this woman pops her head in. Scarlet Sentinel? Yes?
Yep, that's me.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind coming this way. The name's Audry, by the way. She holds out a hand for a handshake.
I take her hand.
Come just this way. Sorry, I got caught up in giving a presentation about something. I really wish they would find someone else to do them, but apparently no one knows drone tech like I do, so I'm always the one stuck having to teach all of that stuff, and it's just very frustrating.
I can understand that.
Walking you down the halls, and you're just I imagine big anime sparkle eyes at all of the tech in this space.
My fingers are twitching, just wanting to get my hands on everything.
Want to touch all the things.
My hands opening and closing because I'm I want to play. What do you need me to do?
Oh, I have heard some about your less known skill set. I was hoping that you wouldn't mind helping me with the problem that I have run into. And she goes into, you would assume, it's her private office, and this is the coolest room yet. She, goes behind the desk, and she sits in this chair, and as she sits down, before it had kind of looked like she might have had some sort of, suit armor around her legs, but as she sits down, that starts, go away, and you realize she's just in sweatpants. My feet are killing me. Hope you don't mind if I get a little... It's been a long day as she starts to maneuver the chair around, and you realize it's a very, high-tech wheelchair.
Oh my god, that is... I'm not that. That is the coolest thing ever. How do I get myself some of that tech? Oh my god.
Well, this started as a prototype. I've got connections with people who make different mobility aids, so I volunteered to test them out because Pet's these don't do a whole lot. This one pats you see there's it's a little device attached to, it detached itself from her leg, is now attached to her chair. These are some of the best that they've come up with so far. They're very comfy, and they don't get quite as warm as some of the others, because the others they ventilate heat better. But I've been on my feet all day, and I'm still not a fan of that.
Those are amazing.
I'm familiar with some of your skills. Noticed your work in the past couple of months with a certain server.
Certain server? Which server would that be?
It's one that contains information that's not often accessed, and it's significantly less often that someone is able to access it to the degree to which you were, which, congratulations, kudos. Also, kudos on not triggering any of the counter viruses, because the ones I have on there are pretty nasty, but you dodged most of them, so that's impressive. I do politely request you refrain from telling people about what you learned about.
Unless it's like absolute pertinent life or death situation, none of that leaves my lips. And even then, I will be asking appropriate people first.
Okay, good, because some of that information can be a little dangerous, especially when we don't know who all's watching.
Absolutely. Like, I've got backups on backups on backups of backups for, like, security on my personal computer pieces.
That's good. I had a feeling we were going to get along pretty well. So, it's sort of an impossible task that I've been working on for the past 25 years. Trying to hack my way into something. I've got a good chunk of the way in, but I was hoping maybe with your knowledge and affinity for tech and coding, you could help me get into it.
I can absolutely do my best.
A little something my dad left behind, and he made it super secure because he wanted to make sure I had all the skills that I needed to deal with what I found whenever I found it. But looks down to a phone where you can see she's got some messages, but like you can't see anything where like the name, or you see like the like indication block that a message had come through. Looks like we might be needing this information sooner rather than later. And you look up and you see on the wall, taking up the entire wall all around you, is possibly one of these most terrifyingly complex programs you've ever seen. Like, the encryption on this thing is ridiculous. You can see where she's been able to work her way in through some of it and like keep her spot in, but she's only like halfway through. Yeah. As you have the big, like, shocked Pikachu face. Yeah, Dad might have gotten a little overboard. He had his reasons for being paranoid. I mean, you don't get to where he was doing what he did without having to develop some, like, serious paranoia and security awareness, but I need to get this cracked. There's questions that need to be answered. And would you like to roll to pierce the mask? As Audrey's talking about this, like, as she's talking, you can see her typing, attempting to make it farther and farther in. And she's making progress, but it's slow.
I got a 15.
Okay. What questions do you want to ask?
That's my double
Bounced
sixes.
right back.
So, for that, I got a mark of potential, because that's one of my things, because apparently I rolled too well.
Yep.
Marking. Cool.
Gotta let you get potential somehow when you fail once every 4 sessions.
For those who might not know about my rolling, my dice don't like to roll low. I keep swapping them up like every other session. I am currently using my 2 beautiful metal dice sets.
Pretty dice.
They're very pretty. They just like me too much, apparently. Okay.
I just roll a lot of 3s and a lot of 7s.
So what questions do you ask? Is this person that you've never met before in your life is sharing this, like, she's sharing a lot with you right now.
Yeah.
You still have no idea what it is, but this is a lot.
Uh-huh. The first one's obvious, so what is she really planning?
With bringing you here, or what's she planning to do with this information?
With this information.
You realize this is something that, like, whatever information is in here probably cost her dad quite a lot to gather and was of great importance to him and had to do with something that he was dealing with. And the fact that he left it behind and left it so well protected means it continues to be important. It is to do with something that she is still currently dealing with. And it has become very personal to her to get to the bottom of this so she can put some things to rest. Whatever this is, it's dangerous. It's not something that, like, just anyone can find. He doesn't want this information falling into the wrong hands. Whatever this information is potentially dangerous, but, like, she needs to know so something can finally be put to rest.
I'm making the assumption that what do you want me to do is she just wants me to help her craft a code.
Yes.
What do you intend to do? Basically explain that with the what are you really planning? Honestly, at this point, I'm not entirely sure of what else I want to ask with this one. Because it's very to the point. And I assume with her being here, like having her own special office, blah, 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 she's pretty much on the level. Like, it would take a lot for someone to be not on the level and be this deep in.
Okay, well, I can still give you some other interesting tidbits because you did roll really high. Like, this is of personal importance to her, and there's potentially lives could be at stake. She has been working on this for years, trying to find her way in, and she still hasn't given up. She's not going to stop until she gets in. As you're looking at the code thing, you might also catch a couple of pieces, because would you say you've done research into, like, hackers of the past? You know some of the big names, you know some of the ones out there. You see bits of some of her code and as she's working, and, like, I think at some point she'll does something on her phone and you're able to, like, you don't see exactly what it is, but you see, like, the interface she's interacting with. Because there's this thing in the hacker community here where it's sort of like these, like, little, like, favor games. I do this for you, you do this for me, but it's random stuff. Sometimes it'll be like, get a stack of pepperoni pizzas and leave them in this elevator, or draw a bunch of smiley faces on the street in chalk, or pick this person up and take them here with no context. There's sort of like an honor system, but it's like if you do this for me, I do this for you. She is setting up a request in there, and it's probably something she's familiar with, that she uses that a lot. And that's something that's been around for a while. And I think something you see in the bits of code left behind by the person who made this encryption, whom she's mentioned is her dad, there is, like, this absolutely legendary figure who was basically, like, known as the best there ever was rumored to have worked with a group of superheroes who did a team up to take on someone big and scary, potentially one of the first Watchers. And as you're looking at it, you're like, there's no doubt all this was created by Watchdog.
Yeah.
And she's the daughter of Watchdog, so she's good. And the fact that she's asking you means I think part of her recognizes that you have both skill and some exterior ability. Like, you have a lot of skill, you have a lot of knowledge, you've worked to get to where you are, but there is also a small layer of technomancy. Some of it is, like, a bit, just like a little hint of superpower.
So, where exactly would you like me to start?
If you don't mind pulling up a seat. She doesn't even look up from where she's typing, but you do see the tiny little drone that you fist bumped. Like, flies up, gives you a little wave, and, like, points to the chair. There's like another wheelie chair that just like has like rolled itself up, almost like it's sitting on a Roomba.
I love it.
Yeah. She's the drone tech. What else are you gonna do when you're not entirely mobile? You find ways to make yourself the most mobile. And sits down. I'll say roll to unleash your powers as you attempt to like start getting to work on this.
10.
All right, okay. You are able to make some good progress. You still know this is going to take a while, especially depending on how much time you actually have to work on this. But you're able to keep up with her rate of progress and like start integrating what you're doing with her, as well as like starting to put in some of your own flair into what's going on here. She starts to relax a bit as she sees the progress is now increasing just a little bit faster. You can feel like this is someone who's been stubbornly refusing to let go of a hope, but now that hope is starting to spark up again. I think at some point as you are working, because like this is a fun challenge, this is fun, but it makes you sweat a little bit, because this is intense.
Yeah, but this is the stuff that Madigan lived for. This is what she was wanting to do when she put her application into the Institute.
Yeah. At some point in the hours you're working, you see the little message pops up like on her personal device, and you can just see like it's something from Mentor, and it looks like it's a communique from like within the Hero Institute, and it just says Mentor, and he's like asking for progress report, and she just like reaches over and replies back. You just like catch this out of the corner of your eye. It's going faster now that I have some help. Might have had it done if you hadn't stolen her from me.
I just snicker.
And the response back from Mentor is just, we've been over this. I had a reason for what I did. She's like, yeah, Halcyon, just go away and let me work. I'll check in with you later.
She wanted me.
She wanted you, and someone that is referred to as Mentor stole your application from her desk. And also just a friendly reminder of what Halcyon is. You remember that program that you all saved before you got recruited into the Institute?
Yep.
The one that was almost saved from a fumigator, but you were able to move it onto your device? That's Halcyon.
Ah! Cool.
I think it probably takes Madigan a little bit for that to click. I think that clicks like when you get home. And the last bit I'll give you is you realize that you did catch her code name in there somewhere. Her code name is Angel Eyes.
Ah!
And I think we will leave it off there and pick it up next time. I was waiting for that to click for Ian.
Finally! Yeah!
You've met her.
Oh, it's all coming together.
You have been listening to Queen City Supers, a graveyard tape side story using the game Masks. Masks: A New Generation is a superhero role-playing game in which a team of young heroes fights villains, saves lives, and tries to figure out who they are. Featuring Caitlin as Madigan, aka Scarlet Sentinel, the Janus. Jess as Bethany Bertolucci, aka Glider, the Beacon. Ian as Marcus, aka Kid Phoenix, the Doomed. Emily Anderson as Rowan, aka Livewire, the Scion. And Brianna Jean as the Keeper and Producer.